This video and the OmniX team are sponsored by the Dragon Cards. Dragon Cards provide you all the TCG products and accessories you need for every major game on the market. Get 5% off on your Digimon TCG product and accessories order by going to dragoncard.nl and entering the code OmniXWin at checkout. Thank you to the Dragon Card.
Hello everybody, I'm YuXOh from OmniX, and today I'm bringing you my deck list for my top 16 regional result from Paris, where I finished 10th place with Vulcanus. Now, the reason I brought Vulcanus to this regional, even though Bielstar being a purple deck, which is kind of my ballpark, Bielstar was very present all around the regional results that I've seen worldwide, and I really don't enjoy playing mirrors at all, besides the fact that Bielstar X is also kind of an expensive card. And Vulcanus just seemed interesting to play, right? He has a really, the toolbox aspect of the options just make the deck flexible in a way that I like. Plus, I just like having psych bombs and security, you know, just win the game by sacking somebody. That's always nice, you know. Also, when I was starting to practice for the deck was a little bit on the roguish side. It just started mounting in popularity, which was kind of annoying, but I still went in expecting to do well. The deck was testing well. It didn't go exactly as I expected, but I'll talk more about it later on in the video. Alright, starting off the deck profile, we got 4 Tokamon. This deck just likes to set your opponent to like 4 or 3 security by chipping early, and this just offers you a draw by just following your absolute basic game plan. There's no other better deck for what this playstyle offers. For rookies, we're gonna start with 4 Corona. This card is just insane. This deck can utilize a lot of options from trash. You know, even if you trash them, Vulcanus can still utilize them. So this card basically just becomes, when moving, draw 2. Just when moving on, play trash 2, draw 2. This is the best rookie to put in raising in the early game, and it just offers an insane amount of consistency. The plus 2k inheritable, kind of a double-edged sword depending on the state of the game, because a lot of times you want your Digimon to die, but sometimes it can help by clearing stuff off the board without offering a lot of memory or without going all in with your resources. So it really depends, but overall as a singular card, it's just amazing. Then we have the best searcher of the deck, which is Toy Agu. Toy Agu searches top 3, gets an option, any option, not the S-rated option, any option. Which means this deck, as long as you have the colors for it, you can tech any sort of option that you want. And then it just picks up any TS rate card. This card double hits 90% of the time in this deck. It's just your best searcher to put on the board. Literally having a turn 1 going Corona in the back, Toy Agu in front is just one of the best turn 1s in this deck. The only way to have it better is just playing it off Factorial Area after playing down Dan Kanan. Then to round out the rookies, we have 2 Kakuamon. Now the Kakuamon before I was playing Elekmon instead, which is just an extra added search, but when going for lethal lines with Factorial Area, not having a black or red Digimon to play out of a Factorial was really hurting my win rate in testing. So this was just the best option that I had. But its effects, which is just basically the starter main and free Evo if you have 4 or less memory, it came up a lot in the tournament. So I really do not regret this card. It really performed out of my expectation. Starting the level 4s have 2 Blimpmon. Again, the deck loves playing black or red Digimon. This card is just an added search when you promote from raising. Either with Kakuamon, you'll do it for free, or even with the other rookies, just evoing to this, get the extra search. Being able to decide if you want to put it top or bottom means you can pretty much rig your next draw off of the egg. Sadly, this card cannot pick up options, and that's also where that little nuance comes in, where if you do see an option that you want, you pick up a valid target from its search, then stack the option on top, and when you swing, Tokamon will draw you into that option. Next we have 2 BT25 Greymon. The card really, the main purpose of it is that it has blocker printed on it. A problem with Factorial Area is that it's the only way you get blocker in your deck to all of your red and black Digimon. So if it's checked in security, suddenly you no longer have a blocker. Sure, you get to play a body, but most bodies in this deck they are level 4 or lower, not really threatening, so your opponent would not respect the factorial insecurity. And this being just printed on blocker and having an on-deletion, the Digivolve 1 can really screw up with a lot of lines that your opponents can do. PL Star can get Digivolve down, losing the inheritable of the Lady Devi in case you would hit something big in security, or just versus angels as well could either interrupt, although with versus angels it can be a double-edged sword because you can just give him another, basically de-evolve the Shaku becoming a level 4 and it will be able to DNA, so there is something to be careful of, but more often than not this card is just amazing as a blocker for the disruption. It's just all around good. Rounding out the level 4s, we have 2 Digimon. I was testing this at 3 before, but I found it to be too heavy. Like, I would more often than not just discard it to all effects that had as a cost discard a card. The reason that I kept it, even though I cannot be played of Factorial as I said before with Kakuamon, is that at times you do not draw your double tamer early enough in the game, and this deck lives and breathes by the dual tamer. Just if you don't see the dual tamer, you'll probably lose the game unless your opponent also has nothing going on. And this has offered me even more, even with Asunas, for example. Just you can add the extra search on top, basically drawing your one security into the draw 2 from Asuna. Overall, when I needed the card, it outperformed. If I don't needed the card, I just discarded. It was never dead in hand because I always had a use for it, and it was not in so many quantities where I oversaw it. Next, going into the level 6s, we have the boss monster deck, Vulcanus. You run F4 because you always want to see it. Sometimes you even want to see multiple in the game. Very rarely do I use all 4, but I've been to games where I used at least 3 in one game. But overall, this card is just really powerful. On play when Digivolve, and you link up to 2 cards, Digivolve the entire enemy board for each link on your side of the board. Just that Digivolve is just an amazing disruption piece, and then added to all of the effects of the options that you can link, this card becomes really flexible. What kind of makes it a little bit broken is that it gives rush to everything, including himself and all of your TS trait Digimon, which means even if you do not OTK with this deck, if Vulcanus sticks on board, you'll probably just rookie rush your opponent with an insane amount of rush bodies. Besides that, the card is just one extra line of text that says when it gets linked, it can swing when any Digimon gets linked, it can swing. And just that, it gives the deck the ability to just go for a game out of nowhere. Sometimes you just drop this for 12 and the game is over. You know, it doesn't matter if they have 12 if they're dead. Going to my second level 6, we got 2 Marsmon. Now, before this, I was testing Minerva, and I didn't really like it. I was just trashing her a lot. I was barely using her. She was not really providing much. She was just getting controlled very easily. And then I saw the Vulcanus list that topped at Peoria, and he was playing Marsmon, and it got me thinking. And I tested it, and it's just amazing. Like, it just allows, for example, due to being able to trash a security when you win a battle, and it itself forcing a battle when it gets played, means you can OTK from 4 security in this deck, and a lot of people do not expect that. A lot of people still do not know the limits of this deck, and this card can take a lot, can pretty much take advantage when your opponents do not know what the potentials of your deck, as well as providing an extra way to control bodies on board. For example, versus Galacticmon, it just becomes an easy way to get rid of Galacticmon together with the Vulcanus, which rises to insane amounts of DP. You can very likely just clean an entire board with Vulcanus plus Marsmon. Going into the Tamers, we got 4 Dan Kanan. This is mandatory. You want to see this Tamer as early as possible. If you have the Tamer and you can set it up, even if you cannot use an option, you pass your opponent to 2, just play the Tamer. We're in a meta where if you do not take advantage early to set up, you will get heavily punished. I did lose a game in the regional where I just did not play Dan Kanan early enough when I had the chance, just because I couldn't use an option off of it. You know, it was basically, to me, I was like losing value. But at that point, I just got completely out-tempoed out of the game because I never had a chance to drop Dankanen, and I lost lethal lines due to it. I lost value lines because of it. This is a must in the deck. If this card ever gets hit by any reason, this deck for me cannot exist. This card this card gives you the flexibility that makes the deck so interesting to me, because you can use options for free and at different memory points. So it becomes really, you have to know your matchups. You have to know how much memory you can pass over just for the sake of controlling the game, and that makes it really interesting to me. I still don't like the fact that it makes you, when your Digimon attack after the option is over. I can understand why, because the link options are when attacking effects or whatever, but that's the part that makes this card just a little bit broken, but it is what it is. Rounding out the tamers, we just have really basic 3 Asuna, you know, extra consistency for the deck. You don't really mind trashing cards in this deck or trashing Digimon. Out of level 3s have value. Even Kakumanas are main, depending on what your hand has to offer. So basically, this can just be turn 1, trash 1, draw 2, into playing a searcher, fill out your hand, search all of your deck. It just really boosts the consistency like crazy. Getting to the options, there is a lot of them, but let's start with the main one, Divine Arms version Omega. This is the card that basically makes the deck kind of a teeny bit unfair. As a linking effect, it can only be linked to Vulcanus, but it gives them Sec +1, Reboot, and pretty much Omni Protection, not once per turn. So you can, as long as you have cards linked, you get to trash your linked cards to protect Vulcanus, which makes them very, very sticky. The Sec +1, the fact that you can just link 2 of them at once to Vulcanus, suddenly makes it so you have 3 checks out of nowhere, and that's where most of the lethal lines from Vulcanus come in. And there are games where the deck kind of feels brain dead because you just, you know, do big damage, go for a game, and your opponent can't really do anything about it. As a main effect, you trash a card from your hand, draw 2, and then you get to link a card from your hand or trash to any of your Digimon on the field. So you can get double value from this. Again, like for example, I could trash this plus a different option and then link that same option that I trashed to one of my Digimon. So it just value on top of value on top of value with this deck. Next we have a 4 factorial area. I did test this at 3. I found that I used it for lethal too many times. I also want blocker a lot of the times. Besides that, it gives link +1, which doesn't really come up that much. When Vulcanus is on the board, it gives link +1 to every Digimon. I never linked that many cards on my board. Most of this is just playing this off Dan Yuki, get a rookie on board, or just play this, get a rookie on board, get a search, and just to go for lethal in a lot of the games. Most of the games is just Vulcanus swing 3 checks, factorial, play a rookie swing, and yeah, just pretty basic. Next, of course, we have 4 in-between theater. Not much to explain. It's a memory boost for the archetype. It searches absolutely everything from tamers to options to Digimon. It's, you know, pretty nice. And you have Asuna on board, and they try to put you to 5 memory, and you have this, which just means, you know, Vulcanus gets to keep turn, which may, you know, just unlocks a lot of plays. Really, just not much to say. Going into the interesting options now, we have first 3 Tidal Stream. Tidal Stream on main effect, it bounces something, and if it does bounce something, one of your Digimon unsuspends. I like that part of the card. Makes the game more, you know, there's more counterplay involved, more interaction involved, more thinking to do, like you cannot clear the board if you want the unsuspend of this. And then when attacking, you bounce the lowest level to hand. So bounce all lowest level, and then bounce 1 lowest level. More often than not, this will clear the board. It comes in clutch when you're kind of breaking and you need to clear the board, and it is another one of the lethal lines of the deck. Next we have 2 Iron Slash. Now Iron Slash pretty basic, just for the fact it costs 3, comes up a lot. You know, 3 memory is really common nowadays. Main effect, the Digivolve 2, and then link effect, Collision Piercing. I use this card a lot to just either Digivolve something annoying on the board, or just remove rookies so me myself don't get chipped. even at end of turn, you know, Dan Kanan, play this, or if I do want to use Dan Kanan for something else, I can link this for 2. The fact that it links only for 2 comes up really, really a lot, because again, if I had Dan Kanan on board, I will be at 2 memory minimum. So I can link for 2, clear whatever's on board, even if I link it to one of my rookies. Most of the time my rookies will just be larger due to this. So yeah, this card, while simple, it offers a lot of flexibility and also helps Vulcanus clear certain things due to collision, because collision is a really interesting keyword in today's meta. Allows you to bypass a few protections just by forcing that block. Next we got 4 one-off options. The first one will be Ignition Flare. I would have loved to play this at more, but this list is very tight in my opinion. This will kill all of the lowest DP on the board. So if there's the same amount of DP on the board, it will, like, let's say you have 3 things at 1k, this will clear everything. And then when attacking on the link effect, you get to pop something that's the same DP or lower than the Digimon this is linked to. Vulcanus usually, you know, gets up on the 16, 18k, so it basically can pop anything when linked to Vulcanus. But one thing as well, if you do not pop anything with his main effect, you pop a option. And I have done that a lot of times, just if I have nothing else better to do. Let's say I am at 2 memory, I Evo in the back, I'll just have Dan Kanan, pop this for 5, pop an option, and then Dan Kanan end of turn set up an in-between theater, for example. So I really love this card, would love to play it more, but sadly, no space. Next we got the one-off Sonic Shot. I've seen a few lists not running this, but I feel the fact that you can suspend Tamers as well just increases your win rate versus Red Hybrid, for example, which is the hybrid deck that's currently present in the meta. Stunning them, kind of a weak stun in a sense, because it just stuns them at the unsuspend phase. So if they have an effect that unsuspends, this will not stop it. But even versus big blockers, if the only thing they have is a blocker, suspend it, and then can swing. Stun Tamers, for example, in the All-Star matchup, stun an Asuna. Again, I just really love this card, mostly due to the fact that it can interact with Tamers. This deck lacks a bit of a Tamer interaction, and this card provides it. Then we have the tech one-offs, kinda, sorta. You know, the one-off Congo. I tested this at 2 and didn't come up much, and when I have it at 1, I feel like I want it more now. It just really depends on the matchups, really. But in today's meta, you know, this card really puts in a lot of work, not allowing 7 play cost or lower to swing at the Tamer, so it protects you versus the red hybrids, protects you versus beat break OTKs, even does not allow Lady Devi to use its effects when attacking, so it kind of saves you from a bit of damage depending on what combos Bielstar wants to get in. Completely turn skips Junomon. It's just a really good card overall, and even in the mirror or versus any other TS deck that likes to play the field, this card will just tell them, okay, you can pick up something from your security, but the option will not go back into security, which, you know, so if some people forget that, you basically made them do a free damage. Does not happen in a lot of top tables, people read more the cards, but, you know, just a really good card no matter, plus it's searchable thanks to Toyago. And finally, to round out the deck, of course, we have to have one of the Infinity Stones, Gravity Crush, and since our Tamers is green-red, you always have access to this. As I said, sometimes you just drop that Vulcanus for 12, as long as you have 2 memory, you can win the game. So if I'm at 0, you know, 2 memory, win the game. As well, something to note with Gravity Crush is that the condition where you lose 2 memory at the end of turn, it kind of becomes of a trigger of yourself. Basically, you as a player gain end of turn, lose 2 memory. So when you're at end of turn step and you have Dan Kanan and you have this, you get to choose what triggers first. So for example, if I want to use something like, for example, Ignition Flare or Tidal Stream, then I can just pass turn, just say pass turn, go to 3, go to end of turn effects, choose this first, lose the 2, go to 5, and then use Dan Kanan to use my 5 cost options. This also works well versus TS decks due to the fact that you'll put them at 5, so you block all of their 4 or less memory effects. And I'll give you a quick rundown of what my matchups were at the regional. Round 1, I faced the Mirror, Vulcanus, I said I want to play a deck that was not really played because I hate mirrors, and there you go, round 1 Mirror. Not exactly the perfect Mirror, he was playing like a version with a lot of different level 6s, so it was kind of interesting. I had Homeros, Neptune, Minerva Venus, all of the Olympus 12s pretty much. That was a 2-0, he did break game 2, but overall just basic game plan, chip and Delta 3, go for a game. Round 2 I faced Beat Break. This deck can have a really good matchup versus Beat Break. The fact that you don't want a lot of things on your board, so the moment that a rookie dies you just do not play anything, memory choke him, throw in Congo if you have it, and then just, you know, put him in lethal range and go for there. Next round 3 I lost 1-2 versus Bielstar, and I have to admit I did not practice this matchup a lot. I made a key mistake in the first game that I lost, and then game 3 sadly I just bricked. I had no rookies early, I had Dan Kanan but no consistency pieces, no Asuna, no in-between theater, and he just, you know, I tried to control the game as much as I could, but sadly he got the win. Round 4, I lost versus Medusa 1-2 to the eventual winner of the regional. It is a rough matchup because the tokens make it so I cannot have the cost reduction for Vulcanus. Plus, he bottom decks my options in trash, so basically I have to be careful with what I trash. It's a lot of resource management, but sadly Medusa thanks to progression as well, you know, he will just ignore everything that is in my security along with trashing it. So if I cannot get a good early turn 1, turn 2, I'm basically out of the game. Round 5 I faced Bears, which is the easiest matchup for this deck. Really just digivolve everything, go for big damage. They cannot really stop us. They can try to stun the dual tamer, but at that point you just keep a second tamer at the ready or just play 2 tamers early and you can pretty much just roll them from there. Round 6 I faced Beat Break again, same result, except this one I was kind of saved by security because he did set up the OTK, he had a rookie ready, he just needed to go for the clean my security with a level 6 and then just use the dual card rush, swing with the rookie, but he did check Congo in security, which did not allow the rookie to swing at security, and then game 2 just went as the matchup goes. And then last round I did face Junomon, and that was a really good game against a good friend of mine. Really interesting game. It felt like we knew what our decks did. We were playing around memory choke points, a lot of reading what the board could do. He did end up OTKing me game 2 with a long combo. And game 3, he did not exactly brick, but he had a really weak and slow hand, and I was able to just take advantage of that, memory choke him, and then just go for game when I saw the winning line. And that was my regional run at Paris. A little bit disappointed that I did not get to play for the uncut sheet. Sadly, we were less than 100 players, so the cutoff was at top 8 and not top 16, and I got 10th. So sadly, that is what it is. I'm not really proud of the result, but I did get my invite, but I will still try to compete in more regionals to try to get a higher result, because that's the standard I put on myself and that's what I'm aiming for. Thank you all for watching. If you like this type of content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We were trying to make more content out for everybody, some more regional reviews, more deck lists, some more tier lists, have some guests lined up. So I hope you all get excited for that, and that'll be all until next time.